Will Kevin Durant play in 2020? Could this global pandemic give the Brooklyn Nets the time that they need to get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving healthy? On this journey, I'm going to look at the possibility if the NBA resumes and if Kevin Durant is able to get healthy, what the Nets ceiling would be if they're able to hold into that 7th seed in the Eastern Conference standings. Let's get into it.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome back to Journey of a Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Hannibal X. Now, if you're new on this channel, you're going to be getting my passionate and unfiltered opinion on the hottest NBA and college basketball topics. Listen, I'm a ballaholic, and if you're missing the NBA like me and you're a ballaholic, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you share this so that we can go ahead and get this out through that YouTube algorithm and get this out to as many people as possible. But also, make sure you click that subscribe button. Turn that bell notification on so that you'll be notified whenever I drop new videos, which is every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, before we get this video kicked off, let's go down to the comment section for the comment of the day. Let me know, what do you think the Nets ceiling would be if they get a healthy Kevin Durant back with this young and talented Brooklyn Nets team? Okay, now we're almost a year removed from Kevin Durant suffering an unfortunate injury where he tore his Achilles in Game 5 of the 2019 Finals between the Golden State Warriors and the Toronto Raptors. Now, as we know, recently the Nets GM came out and said that they're not ruling out a possibility for Kevin Durant to return after this global pandemic shutdown. So that kind of begs the question, and it kind of puts things into the situation where the Brooklyn Nets, who are already loaded with talent, I'm talking about top to bottom, and you've got a Kevin Durant, a Kyrie Irving, then you add in legit role players when you're looking at guys like Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jarrett Allen, DeAndre Jordan. I mean, listen, Taurean Prince. These guys are loaded. This young Brooklyn Nets team here has a lot of potential. Now, we all know that recently the Nets did fire their coach, Kenny Atkinson, but there's been a lot of rumors floating around that they're possibly looking at names like Ty Lue, Jason Kidd, we've heard Mark Jackson, even a possible Jeff Van Gundy's on the list to be able to fill that coaching board. So it kind of sets up a situation, what if Kevin Durant is able to get healthy? And what if Kyrie Irving is also able to be healthy enough for this dynamic duo to finally get on the court in Brooklyn for the Nets in the 2020 playoffs? What would their ceiling be? Well, one of the names that I didn't mention in that list of the role players was sharpshooter Joe Harris. Now, for the most part, this Nets team is all pretty much under contract for the next couple of years, with the exception of Joe Harris. Now, Harris, as we know, is their best shooter and is having a career season of a short and young career. So, what if the Nets decide to say, let's give it one shot with this squad that we have, where we've got legitimate shooters, we've got legitimate big men who can defend the rim, we've got playmakers. I mean, what doesn't this Nets team have? So when I started really thinking about how would this Nets team stack up against some of the elite competition that's out there, I had to really think about who would that competition be, where are they currently in the standings, who would they be facing in that first round, a potential second round, so forth and so on. So let's break it down, and starting with where they currently are, which is the 7th seed in the East. They will be matched up against the 2-seeded Toronto Raptors. So if the seedings were to hold as they are and you get that first round matchup between the Nets and the Raptors, to me that would be a knockdown 7-game series. And as much as I like Siakam, Kyle Lowry, Van Fleet, and the championship experience of this Raptors team, I would have to pick the Nets in the first round upset over Toronto in a 7-game series. Now, that may be far-fetched for some, but I think that the experience of a Kevin Durant, the talent of his ability to be able to take Siakam kind of out of his game, specifically offensive, by him having to defend and use a lot of that energy on defense, because we've got to remember, there is no Kawhi Leonard over there. So Siakam will be that main defender trying to guard basically a 7-foot Durant. And regardless of how much or how close Durant gets back to being what he was, Durant, even at 90% of what he is still better than every single player on Toronto's team. Then once again, you got that matchup with Kyrie Irving and Kyle Lowry. I just think that Nets team will be too much for Toronto in round 1. So that will set us up for a second round matchup, which I think most likely, and there's a lot of debate here because that would possibly be the 3-6 matchup of Boston Celtics versus the Philadelphia 76ers. And my preseason prediction was I would have went with the Philadelphia 76ers. However, I just haven't liked the coaching situation and how they've kind of maneuvered the pieces that they have on the board. So in that matchup, I would go with the Boston Celtics to win that 3-6 matchup, which would set us up for the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics in round 2. That would give us some absolutely incredible head-to-head matchups. When you think about a Durant versus Tatum, good goodness. Think about Kyrie Irving versus Kemba Walker and all the storylines there. How about Karis LeVert versus Jaylen Brown? Gordon Hayward versus Joe Harris. You got Marcus Smart versus Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, this would be an absolutely insane series. But once again, I have to go with the Brooklyn Nets in a tough-fought 7-game series. Now, if that were to happen, that would set us up for a heavyweight matchup between the number 1 seed Milwaukee Bucks and the upset-minded 7th seed Brooklyn Nets. Now, as much as I like this Nets team, I think one of the main things that's going to truly stop them from being able to get past the Bucks in the 2020 finals, Eastern Conference Finals, would be a similar situation to where Jordan, back in the 90s, where he came off of retirement and jumped right back into the groove of things, was knocked off by a young Orlando team. And I think that just like that young Orlando team had a young dominant Shaq, this young Milwaukee team has the new version of a young Shaq and the young Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't think that the Bucks, with the quality of talent that they've surrounded Giannis with, the pieces that just seem to fit so much better and have the chemistry and the continuity that that young Bucks team has, I don't think that this Brooklyn Nets team will be able to get past them, with Durant not having as much time to be able to gel and really mesh on court with this Brooklyn Nets squad. So only and strictly only because of a lack of chemistry and continuity would be the reason why I would pick the Milwaukee Bucks to be able to beat the Brooklyn Nets in a 6-game series in the Eastern Conference Finals for the Milwaukee Bucks to make it to the NBA Finals. Now, that would also leave us in a situation where Kevin Durant, in his first year with the Brooklyn Nets, not having many games under his belt, would have made the Eastern Conference Finals, would have lost to the Giannis Antetokounmpo-led Bucks, but I think that would set them up for a rebound summer, well, or should we call it a fall, because we never know how the next season is going to take on, or how that's going to go as far as when the actual 2021 season will start. But I think that can set up for a potential where you're looking at the Brooklyn Nets to be prime for a run in 2021. Listen, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to call it right now. If Kevin Durant, regardless of this season, whether he comes back healthy this year or whether he has to wait until 2021 season begins, I'm picking the Brooklyn Nets with a healthy Kevin Durant, and regardless, once again, he could be a 90-95% of what he was, Kevin Durant. I'm picking the Brooklyn Nets with him, Kyrie Irving, and this young Brooklyn Nets squad. I'm picking them to go to the 2021 NBA Finals. Now, who they will be facing, we'll get into that on another date. But as of right now, this season right now is a big season for the Milwaukee Bucks, because Giannis, if he's going to make the finals, to me, it has to be this season. He cannot allow Kevin Durant to come back, if he does, and be able to knock him out of the opportunity to make in the finals. That would be an absolute travesty for the Milwaukee Bucks franchise. So what do you think? What would be the ceiling for the Brooklyn Nets in a 2020 scenario if they get a healthy Kevin Durant back? Listen, if you missed any of my previous videos, please click one of the boxes right here to the right. Also, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. As always, I'm going to see you next time. Peace.